Reserve Governor Lisa Cook has officially filed a lawsuit against the twice impeached, criminally convicted felon con man in chief, Donald Trump, for his unprecedented and illegal effort to remove her from her position. In the lawsuit, she seeks a legal declaration that Trump's efforts to fire her are, quote, unlawful and void, asserting that she remains an active member of the board. Trump has reportedly sought to oust Cook based on allegations of mortgage fraud. Under the Federal Reserve Act, governors can only be removed for cause which requires proof of misconduct or wrongdoing. In Cook's case, no evidence has been presented. She's made history as the first black woman to serve on the board of the world's most influential central bank, which plays a crucial role in setting U.S. interest rates. But she didn't just sue Trump. She also sued the Federal Reserve, including Chair Jerome Powell as well. Reecie, what do you make of this?
Well, what I make of it is that Donald Trump has figured out that attacking black women is the quickest way to amass power without pushback. Of course, black women ain't going down without a fight. But the rest of the country, where is the reaction? When Donald Trump is threatening Jerome Powell, the markets reacted, and then Donald Trump was like, haha, just kidding. But he's seen time and time again, 300,000 black women have lost their jobs. If we say that we're ending DEI, nobody cares about the fact that he's amassing all of this outsized power over specific jobs in the federal government, which are supposed to be protected from political interference. This is another example where he's playing into the trope of black people, stereotypes that we are corrupt, that we're incompetent. And so then people turn this into whether this is about evidence being presented, whether the charges are true or not, that has nothing to do with it. This is all about Donald Trump trying to interfere with the Fed so that he can get these rock bottom low interest rates, which he's not going to get because the big, beautiful bill explodes the deficit by trillions of dollars. But also, this is about Project 2025. One of the aims of Project 2025 is to eliminate the Federal Reserve. They want to get rid of the Fed altogether. And so when you start deconstructing the Board of Governors and you start with black women, or a black woman specifically, with little to no pushback, then that allows them to further erode the role and the integrity of the Federal Reserve, which, by the way, the charge of the Federal Reserve is full employment and low inflation. We know that the other aim of Project 2025 is to remake society so that there isn't full employment. They want a permanent underclass, and they don't give a damn about how much we're paying. Look at the tariffs. So I wish that people would stop feeling so comfortable with attacks on black women, because the way that he's amassing power coming after black people, he gets to hold on that power. And then when that power is yielded at your white ass, your Asian ass, your Latino ass, then it's going to be a fucking problem. But guess what? By then, it's too damn late.
Nola?
I agree. Reecie gave a really good economic analysis, and I'll take it, towards the political science angle in terms of, this is the playbook. You have a group, there's a us versus them dynamic, and then there's a low-hanging fruit dynamic, which to him are black women. And then, you also have a dynamic where you are making sure that you are inflicting pain. You want to be seen inflicting that pain because you don't want a vibrant working intellectual class. You don't want people in these jobs to question you, to push back. You want loyalists in these jobs, or you want, like Reecie said, you want these agencies to disappear completely, just like with USAID, right? You don't want agencies in place that upset or could possibly disrupt your corrupt agenda. And the one thing that Donald Trump is being effective with is making sure that people understand that he will hurt you. That is very clear. He wants everyone to know that he will hurt you. And by these institutions complying, bending the knee early on, that did not help, right? And to Reecie's point, this is how I honestly feel about the whole situation with black women like me, like Reecie. They don't want us in these spaces anyway, to begin with. They don't want the smart black woman in a room, maybe decoratively, but for us to actually be effective, for us to actually show up and do our jobs, that's not what they want, which is why it was so easy for so many of these countries to say, bye-bye DEI, bye y'all. It was a nice little run. See y'all next time when the next trend come around. They didn't want us there in the first place. So these people are being exposed. But my point remains, this is Authoritarian 101. And unfortunately, scarily, the next step is something far more dangerous when we are talking about totalitarianism. And that's the stage of this that I am really, really worried about, because right now we still have these platforms. There's still some level of freedom of speech, but those rights, they're going to come for those too.
Yeah, what he wants to do, Greg, he wants to clear the field. We see this happen in the Department of Defense, to do whatever he wants, because he doesn't want.
They're changing it to the Department of War.
He doesn't want anyone objecting, ignoring orders. This is truly an administration of sycophants, cult followers.
It is. There are a lot of different interests, though, as we see. Trump's interest is like his friend Bibi Netanyahu. I'm trying to stay out of jail. With the added incentive, I'm trying to make all the money in the world. The white nationalist agenda is white nationalism. Remember, Roland, and you'll know this history much better than I do in terms of political side. Remember Eric Cantor in Virginia?
Mm-hmm.
Remember when they were trying to bail out the banks? And Cantor and his crazy ass people in Congress were taking pride in that they was going to vote against the too big to fail stuff. There's a new article in Mother Jones where the guy kind of walks through that, and he says, we are in fascism now. We're past the tipping point.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, I look at that moment as the moment when we should have realized, oh, there are people in that party who will just watch the world burn.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that element. There's that element of it. But this is a very interesting thing. First of all, shout out to our sister Cook, because he definitely hates black women. I mean, and I understand why, because underneath that hatred is desire. But we'll talk about that another day. Maybe we can ask Omarosa to give us a little feeling as to his true feelings deep down in his heart of hearts. But at any rate, that notwithstanding, that's Trump's hang up. But let's be very clear. The villain of this piece, in many ways, is that nasty piece of work, Russell Vought. Because, see, all this is triggered. This particular case is triggered by one of Vought's boys, Bill Pulte, over there at FHA. He been combing through records, looking at people's mortgages. And so the same thing they tried to hang on Marilyn Mosby, the same thing they tried to hang on Adam Schiff, the same thing they tried to hang on Attorney General Letitia James, they trying to hang on Lisa Cook. Because you've been scrubbing through the mortgages, looking if you can get a technicality. Because the Federal Reserve says you can't get her. I think she's confirmed through 2038. The only way you can get rid of a Federal Reserve commissioner is by cause, and she's going to court like, you can't show me. I ain't been convicted of no crime. Your little minion over there scrubbing through the mortgages thinks he's got me on something. But if you got me on something other than you sitting up putting something on social media in the middle of the night, sitting on your toilet in public housing at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, charge me with something. Then you might have a point of entry, but you don't. Now, here's where it comes down to. John Boy Roberts. It is. It's public housing. We paying for it, right? John Boy Roberts got a problem now. Remember in May, that Supreme Court case, Trump versus Wilcox, where another sister, remember they put off the National Labor Relations Board, she sues, gets to the Supreme Court, and Roberts and them are saying, well, we'll worry about the merits later, but in the interim, we can't reinstate you. But there is one entity. It ain't the National Labor Relations Board. It ain't any of the cabinet level departments. There's one entity that we say that you can't just go in there and do this to because it's too important. And it's quasi-private. Remember what John Boy said? It was the Federal Reserve. Now, Ketanji Brown Jackson and Sotomayor and Kagan and like, what the hell are you doing? He can't do it anyway. But, so you're going to carve out a special exception for the Federal Reserve? The constitutional crisis that Lisa Cook is going to force them to look down in the face is, you're going to choose this white supremacy over any notion of the rule of law? Because out your own mouth, John Boy, you said the Federal Reserve is not one of the entities that you can do this to. I am loving it. Because I'm going to tell you right now, they don't have the muscle. No, seriously, they don't have the muscle. They don't have the muscle to pull off what Trump is trying. But while he's trying it, I read an article yesterday, Financial Times, they're saying that perhaps one day we'll look back and they will call Donald Trump the father. He ain't gonna win no Nobel Prize, but he might be called the father of the BRICS. Why? Because Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, and all them countries that just signed up with the BRICS, 50% tariff on India. India's like, we're not giving up this Russian oil, and we got other people that are buying. Tinubu, the president of Nigeria, spent 3 days this week in Brazil. Because Lula and them are looking at bilateral trade agreements. Donald Trump is doing the world a favor by pulling the United States back from its central place in world economies. And in this crack, the world is moving on. Now, this is to all you ADOS Negroes who love your masters so much. If you Negroes don't wise up and build some solidarity politics with the rest of the world, you know what's going to happen? You're going to burn in hell with the rest of these hillbillies. This is the lesson we need to be learning from this moment.
Hello, I'm Isaac Hayes III, founder and CEO of Fanbase. Listen to what I'm about to tell you. The window to invest in Fanbase is closing. We've raised over $10.6 million of our $17 million goal. That means there's room for less than 6,370 people to invest in Fanbase for the average amount. The minimum to invest in Fanbase right now is $399. That makes you an owner in Fanbase today. Go to startengine.com/fanbase to invest. Why? Because current social apps have taken advantage of users for far too long, with content suppression, shadow banning, harmful racist content, and no real tools for monetization and equity. Fanbase has over 1.4 million users and counting, allowing anyone to reach all their following and monetize their content from day one. Social media is the new TV, and whoever owns the apps that distribute that content have the opportunity to own potential billion-dollar companies. While big platforms with uncertain futures are failing to serve their users, Fanbase is stepping up to fill the gap. Don't wait until it's too late. Invest now, invest for yourself and your future. Go to startengine.com/fanbase and own the next generation of social media.